All right, so we're going to be working on the food project now. For the food project, you got to make 5 food menus: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, and a beverage. For each of them, you got to put what the meal is, what the picture is of, and something about it, whether that's calories, a price, I don't care. If you want to, there's an optional addition to this where you can make a theme. And then I'm just going to go down. I'm going to look like here's an example of one theme a student did. They got the picture, what the meal is, and then 2 boxes. We got some other examples. Here's a professional example where they got a box. They got their food picture here, and they got some facts about it. I'm going to show you how to do like a mirror of something like this. Here's another option. Here's another option of a menu together. But we're going to go and just open Photoshop. So I've got Photoshop open now, and I just opened it and I made a 5x7 for my menu. Your menu could be any size, doesn't matter. I just opened a 5x7 and I threw a background color on there when I opened it. I could always change this. I get the paint bucket, I could change the color. It doesn't really matter to me. Uh, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. You could also throw an image in for the background. Like if we wanted to go to place embedded, we could go grab a picture of like marble and do a marble background and then do everything over that. That would be fine. You could do something like this. I do not really care to. So I got a background. And like I said, we're going to try to mirror doing something like this, or just showing you how to do something like this. So there's some tools in here I'm going to add. I'm actually going to change my background color, something a little lighter. I'm going to take this, and I don't mind this, but I want the lighter one here. And then I'm actually going to take that darker color and use the darker color, make a rectangle in here, and make it kind of a thin-ish rectangle. I don't want to stroke on my rectangle, so no stroke. And then for fill, I do want that darker color. Okay, so I got my fill, I got my rectangle. I can center it up nice and easy. You see how it had the snap lines come in there? Boom and boom. So I got my rectangle. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to go to effects. I'm going to add a drop shadow. So I go to effects and I add a drop shadow. You see it's dropping a shadow there. I actually want my drop shadow to have a little more size to it, to come out, not too much. And I'm just going to drop the intensity a little, give it a little more distance. So I got a drop shadow there. I think drop shadows can really make things pop. So we got a drop shadow. If we look at this, um, right over here on the side, this has an area with some extra stuff and it's a little transparent. So I am going to go in and I'm going to create a box over on the side. Right over here, something like this. Notice the stroke is off. I'm going to do another color that kind of works with all of these. So I got that in there. This is also going to have a drop shadow. So I'm just going to apply the same exact drop shadow as I had before. Got my drop shadow on there. And that should be good for that box, except I'm going to reduce the opacity just a smidge so you can see through it. You got that going on. Um, Maybe lower this a little or center it up. That's your choice. In terms of text, you got to pick the text you want. I'm just going to go with whatever I get. Like, I'm not going to try to do anything fancy. My text color is apparently the same color as everything else. So like right now, if I grab my text and my text is extremely large, so right now my text is the same color as the background, or it's red. So there's my text. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to go with cheeseburger. I'm going to need a little more box here for cheeseburger, because that is my item that I'm going with. I'm going to center that up. I do not like the text color at all, so I'm actually going to go with something like that, but I want it to pop a little. There we go. I like that, and I'm gonna throw some effects on that. I'm just gonna throw a little stroke, That is a huge stroke, so I'm going to do a really tiny stroke. So it just gives that little black outline to the text there. And then I'm going to throw some text in this side box over here. So a new layer of text over here, just text box. Once again, we're going to make this a lot smaller, and I'm going to actually sample the text. That doesn't look good in that box. Maybe something a little darker. And interesting information here. So whatever you want to put there. Just some facts. You can stretch it so it fits a little better. There you go. You can add different things to there, like after you get interesting information here, if you wanted to add a nice like line in here, you take the line tool, you could add a line to divide this up. Something like that would be fine. It's up to you. And now the big moment, we're gonna do file, place embedded, and I'm just gonna bring in a classic burger bash. And this is where you get to kind of work out like your sizes and everything. Like if I want this to really just kind of pop, I've got to make everything else kind of work with that. Maybe this rectangle needs to be shrunk a bit to make all of this kind of squeeze in a little better. Make the rectangle a little taller, a little smaller, a little taller. All right, center that back up. Enter, center the cheeseburger up in here. Get that centered, this centered. So, you know, you kind of go with your picture, even if you're making get those at the same level. So there we go. You can add a drop shadow on the cheeseburger there if you want. So why not? Boom. So, you know, that's like a nice template. And what you could do is after you get one of these done, you know, we could adjust the canvas because it looks a little big for this. So I could go to canvas size, and I could reduce the canvas size down to 80%. Let's see what that does. Proceed. So that looks good. Got a reduced canvas. Everything looks like it fits nicely now. And that's a pretty good template for the picture aspect ratio I have. I have cheeseburger, got some interesting facts. If you wanted to, in the default option, had like a price thing going on, so I could come back in here and I could go to shape and I could do an ellipse, and I could just, if I hold shift, it makes it a circle. I could come in here, drop the price right on there, go back to the ellipse tool so I can change the stroke, make the stroke black, and then the interior I'm going to make white. So there we go. I don't really like that white. Let's see, what can I make it that looks good? Maybe the lighter, a slightly lighter gray. Yeah, slightly off gray. I like it. And then you could add your text in there for the price. You know, $9.99. Not $10, $9.99. There you go, and you could fancy this up. Zoom in a little so I can maybe get a little bit better placement. I'm using the arrow keys now for my placement. Hey, so like there is a menu for a cheeseburger. It's not super great, but it is quick. You can play around with the colors. Like looking at this burger more, I'm not crazy about that color. I maybe even want to match this color. It's too dark. There we go. Maybe that looks better. But you know, you're trying to get some kind of general sense of a pattern. You don't have to do them all the same, but like after you do one, you know, you can just delete the picture and change what it is. Like maybe your next one is ice cream. And after you get done with ice cream, interesting facts, change the price, throw your ice cream picture over here. You can keep moving. So these are all ways to do a food menu. You don't have to do it this way, but you can. So there you go. Good luck.